We signed a contract promising to pretend to be married for 1 year. No feelings, no complications, just business. Then I made the mistake of actually falling for him. Mia Chen scrubbed floors in the Sterling mansion, invisible to the wealthy family she served. At 24, she supported her grandmother's cancer treatment through 3 jobs, exhaustion her constant companion. Miss Chen, Mr. Sterling wishes to see you. The butler's summons filled her with dread. Adrian Sterling, 32, heir to a billion-dollar empire, sat behind his mahogany desk, looking miserable. I need a wife, temporarily. Mia blinked. Excuse me? My grandfather's will requires me to be married before 33 to inherit. I have 6 months. Adrian's jaw clenched. All the socialites want real marriages. I want a business arrangement. 1 year, you'll be compensated generously. Why me? Because you need money for your grandmother's treatment and you're not in love with me. He slid a contract across. $500,000. Pretend to be my wife, attend events, live in my penthouse. After 1 year, quiet divorce, and you walk away wealthy. Mia stared at the numbers that could save her grandmother's life. No physical relationship? None. Pure business. She signed, not knowing she just agreed to the most complicated year of her life. The wedding was a spectacle. Society pages, designer gown Mia felt uncomfortable wearing, and a kiss at the altar that felt like lightning despite being fake. Adrian's family welcomed her coldly, seeing through the arrangement immediately. Sign this. Adrian's lawyer presented a post-nuptial agreement. Ensures you get nothing beyond the agreed amount. Protects the Sterling fortune. Mia signed without hesitation, which seemed to surprise Adrian. I'm not after your money beyond what we agreed. Living together was awkward. Adrian worked 80-hour weeks, barely home. When he was, they maintained careful distance, separate bedrooms, polite conversations, no real connection. Until Mia started noticing things. Adrian never ate breakfast. He had nightmares that woke him at 3 a.m. He visited his mother's grave every Sunday alone, refusing company. The cold businessman facade cracked around the edges. Why did you really need a fake wife? Mia asked one night, finding him drinking alone. The inheritance doesn't require marriage. Your grandfather died 5 years ago. Adrian's eyes met hers, vulnerable for the first time. Because my father is forcing me to marry Victoria Ashford for a merger. This was my only escape from a lifetime trapped in a loveless marriage like he has. They became unexpected friends. Adrian taught Mia about his business world. She taught him how to cook basic meals. They watched terrible movies together, debated politics, and slowly, the penthouse felt less like a prison. You laugh differently when you're really happy, Adrian observed one evening. Not the polite laugh you do at events. This one's genuine. Mia's heart skipped. You notice things like that? I notice everything about you. Adrian looked away quickly, for the act, to make it convincing. But his gaze lingered too long. His hand brushed hers too often. The air between them crackled with unspoken tension. The kiss happened during a charity gala. Photographers surrounded them, and Adrian pulled Mia close, kissing her with an intensity that had nothing to do with their audience. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. Good performance, Mia whispered, trying to steady herself. Right, performance. Adrian's voice was rough. But that night, Mia heard him pacing outside her bedroom door, and she pressed her hand against the wood, knowing he stood on the other side, both of them fighting the same battle. The contract forbade feelings. They were breaking the most important rule. 3 months in, Adrian came home drunk. This was a mistake, he said, leaning against Mia's doorframe. You were supposed to be safe, convenient, not this. Not what? Mia stood, heart hammering. Not someone I think about constantly, not someone who makes me want to cancel meetings just to hear her laugh. Adrian moved closer. Not someone I'm falling for when I have no right to. Adrian, the contract ends in 9 months. You'll leave, I'll go back to my empty life. That's the deal. His voice broke. So why does the thought of you leaving destroy me? Mia grabbed his shirt, pulling him down, kissing him with all the feelings she'd been suppressing. Adrian responded desperately, lifting her, carrying her to the bed. They made love with months of tension finally breaking, whispered confessions between kisses, urgent and tender and real. Afterward, tangled together, Adrian traced her face. This complicates everything. I know. I don't want to let you go. The contract. Screw the contract. Adrian pulled her closer. I want you, really want you, not as my fake wife, as my everything. Then ask me to stay. Stay. Please, Mia, stay. Happiness lasted 3 weeks before Adrian's father discovered the truth. Malcolm Sterling stormed into the penthouse with lawyers in fury. A maid? You married the cleaning girl. Malcolm threw down investigation reports. This marriage is a fraud. I'm having it annulled. You can't. I can and will. The board won't accept this. Victoria's family will sue for breach of contract. You've destroyed everything. Malcolm turned to Mia. How much did he pay you? I'll double it to disappear. Get out of my home, Adrian said coldly. But the damage was done. News outlets ran stories. Billionaire's fake marriage exposed. Gold-digging maid scams heir. The photos were vicious. Mia in her cleaning uniform contrasted with her in designer gowns. I'm sorry, Mia whispered that night, watching Adrian's world crumble. Your father's right. I'm destroying your reputation. He's wrong about everything that matters. Adrian held her tight. But he's right that this won't work. My family will make your life hell. The media will crucify you. I won't put you through that. What are you saying? That I love you too much to trap you in my nightmare. You should take the money and go. And if I want to stay and fight? Mia chose to fight. She faced the cameras, the cruel questions, the public judgment. Adrian's family launched a campaign to prove the marriage was fraudulent, to humiliate her into leaving. Miss Chen, did you seduce Mr. Sterling for money? Reporters shouted. No, Mia said clearly. I signed a contract, yes, but I fell in love honestly. If that makes me a gold digger, fine, but I love him. Adrian watched the interview, something breaking and reforming inside him. She was standing alone, defending him, fighting for them when he'd been too afraid to fight back. He called a press conference. My marriage began as an arrangement, I won't lie, but it became real. Mia Chen is the bravest, most honest person I've ever met. She accepted a business deal to save her grandmother. I offered it to escape my father's control. We found something neither expected, genuine love. Malcolm moved to stop him. You're ruining everything. You've ruined everything years ago when you chose business over family. Adrian stood tall. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing Mia. And if that means walking away from Sterling Industries, I'll do it. She's worth more than all of it. Adrian's declaration came with a price. The board voted him out as CEO. Malcolm seized control, cutting Adrian off financially. The media called it the most expensive love story in history. I'm sorry, Mia said, watching Adrian pack his office. You lost everything because of me. I lost nothing that mattered. Adrian took her hand. But we need to figure out how to actually live. I've never had a real job, never paid my own bills. I don't know how to survive without the sterling money." "I do," Mia said. "I've been surviving my whole life. Let me teach you." They moved into Mia's tiny apartment. Adrian took a job at a startup, using his business knowledge without his family name. Mia continued working, but now they were truly partners, building a life from nothing. It was hard, humbling. Adrian burned dinner, struggled with public transit, and realized how privileged his life had been. But eating ramen on their apartment floor, laughing about his failures, he felt freer than he'd ever been in his mansion. "I don't regret it," he told Mia. "Any of it." "Even when we're eating ramen for the third night this week?" "Especially then, because it's real." 6 months into their new life, Mia discovered she was pregnant. The news terrified and thrilled them both. They could barely support themselves, let alone a child. "We'll figure it out," Adrian promised. "Together." But then Malcolm appeared, looking older, diminished. "I was wrong," he admitted quietly. "I've spent 6 months watching you build something real, while I've been alone in that mansion, surrounded by money and miserable. Your mother would be ashamed of what I've become." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm dying. Lung cancer. 6 months at most." Malcolm's voice cracked. "And I don't want to die having driven away my only son. I won't force you back, but I'm asking, let me know my grandchild. Let me try to be the father I should have been." Adrian looked at Mia, who nodded. "On our terms. No control, no manipulation, just family." "Agreed." Malcolm extended his hand. "And Adrian, the company needs you, not as my puppet, but as the leader you've become. I'm stepping down. The board wants you back, if you'll accept." Adrian hesitated. This was everything he'd walked away from, but on his terms, with Mia beside him, it felt different, like a beginning, not a prison. Adrian returned to Sterling Industries, but as a different man. He implemented policies Mia had taught him: fair wages, employee health care, work-life balance. The company flourished under leadership driven by values, not just profit. Malcolm and Adrian rebuilt their relationship slowly, painfully. Malcolm met his granddaughter, Emma, and wept holding her, finally understanding what mattered. "Your mother would have loved her," Malcolm said softly, "would have loved Mia. I was so wrong about everything." "You still have time to be different," Adrian said. "However much time you have left, use it well." Malcolm did. He established charitable foundations, made amends where he could, and in his final months became the father Adrian had always needed. At Malcolm's funeral, Adrian stood before hundreds and said, "My father taught me that love isn't weakness. It's the only strength that truly matters. He learned that truth late, but he learned it. That's something." Mia held Emma, watching her husband honor his complicated father, and felt grateful for every twist that had brought them here. The fake marriage, the scandal, the poverty, the return, all of it led to this moment, real, earned, and theirs. 5 years later, Adrian and Mia renewed their vows. This time, no contract, no pretense, just love, honest and hard-won. "Remember when you were just my fake wife?" Adrian whispered at the altar, their daughters, Emma now had a sister, Sophia, watching from the front row. "I was never just anything to you," Mia replied. "You just needed time to realize it." They'd built something extraordinary. Sterling Industries thrived under ethical leadership. Mia's grandmother had beaten cancer and lived with them, and the poor girl and the rich boy had proven that love doesn't care about class. "Any regrets?" Mia asked that night, dancing in their home, the penthouse she'd once cleaned, now filled with their children's laughter. "Only that I didn't ask you for real the first time." Adrian pulled her close. should have been, Mia Chen, will you marry me, instead of a business proposal. You're asking now? Every day, for the rest of our lives. Will you marry me? For real this time. No contracts, no end date. Just us, building this beautiful, complicated life together. Mia kissed him, her answer clear. Yes. Always yes. Their love had started as a fix, a convenience, a lie, but it had become the truest thing either had ever known. And that's how Mia and Adrian proved that love built on honesty, even if it starts with a lie, is stronger than any fortune. They lost everything to find what truly mattered and built something better than they'd imagined. If this story touched your heart, smash that like button and subscribe. Drop a ring if you believe in fake marriages becoming real love, or a broken heart if this story made you cry. Would you enter a contract marriage? Let me know below.